Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am here with Road to the Ring Evolution Cup, and we're going to go ahead and run this event. Basically, this is the part of the event where you win the prize car. I've been digging around a bit. I think you're going to face that creep. Harkness in the next qualifier. Better be prepared for any foul play. Well, the story sounds interesting, and it sounds like there's some kind of funky business going on. There's nothing really interesting about the race event itself. It's going to be an escalation of the Golden Cup or whatever part of the duality you made it through before, and essentially the opponents are just faster. Most Evolution Cups work the same way. You start off facing challenges that would be relatively tough even for the end of the duality Golden Cup portion, meaning as soon as you start Evolution Cup, the first part of the event where things are easier would become challenging as far as race 1. Now, my car before was fully maxed. When I ran the first portion, I actually took intake and turbo out because I wanted to see just how close to max I have to be to get through this portion. I suspect not very. Mainly because this car is heavily dependent on 1 or 2 stage 6s to make a lot of its time reduction. So turbo, intake, engine, tire, those 4 are less impactful, I guess would be the word, than just having the top 3 or 4, which is obviously nitrous tire, engine, and trans. So the fact that I have nitrous tire, engine, trans plus body, which is huge. The fact that I have all those together basically means that I shouldn't have any issues getting through the first 10 races. But you never know. Let's just take a look and see just how tough they make things as far as challenges go. Evolution Cups that win prize cars are naturally intended to be hard, so you can only really be missing maybe 1 stage 6, 2 stage 6, at most, if it's not the 2 weakest one. If it's some of the stronger ones, you're in trouble. If you're missing body, for example, you might be in trouble even if you're just missing 1. So it really depends how the developers wanted to make this challenge, how difficult they felt it needed to be. Traditionally, they're always a little bit difficult. Fully maxed cars always have an easy time because as difficult as they, quote, make it, they don't usually expect you to have 100% fully maxed car for these, but many times it came close on the last race or two, mainly because, you know, if they make it too easy, people say, oh, it's too easy. If they make it you need to be fully maxed, people complain, oh, it's too hard, you're just forcing us to max our cars. So what they do is they put it right near hard, by letting you get away with maybe missing 1 or 2 stage 6s that are super weak and maybe a few epic fusions. But if you're missing a decent amount of epic fusions, then you're probably going to need all stage 6. That's the pattern. Okay, there's no magic to this. The opponents basically get faster and faster, and there will be a few challenges where things are going to be, for example, these speed traps. It's going to be a certain speed trap, and if your car's not upgraded enough, even if you have a great shift pattern, you may not actually make the speed trap no matter what. Okay, so in my case, I know I can do 336 at least without really working on it, 340. So as long as it doesn't get beyond that within the first 10 race, I'm fine. Because the second 10 race, I'm going to the other car. That's the other piece of this. There is no 10 races with combination of cars. It's just 10 races with the first one, 10 races with the second one, and you're done. Alright. The Club Sport beats dyno, so I have a 7.5 something dyno, but I am able to run 7.4 something, which basically helps me get through this event a little bit easier, because anytime you're running faster than dyno, remember the challenges that are shown, difficulty that's shown is based on your dyno. So if you're doing better than that, then naturally, unless it's extreme red, you should have no issue getting through any of the challenges. So here we go, boom, boom, and off we go. So with the Club Sport, at least, uh, general consensus is skip the first gear to second gear and second to third, and then nitrous in third. That'll get you a little bit under dyno, give you some of your best runs, and it seems pretty consistent at my level of upgrades. If you have less upgrades, the final drive has to get a little higher. Higher upgrades, final drive gets a little lower, but the shifting pattern in that portion, at least, is pretty much the same. All right, let's see how difficult this sprint is. For the sprint, it's the same way. You just go ahead and do it with the skip to third and go. 1.38, 1.7, so no challenge there. Now, I'm actually done with the first 10 races, and I don't think any of these challenges came close to being challenging. So that means you could definitely be missing another stage 6, I would think, without much of an issue to make it through this. So that means for stage 6 full fusion, and even then, depending on which stage 6s you're missing, you might still be okay. So that so far bodes well. That means it's a relatively easy Evolution Cup compared to some of the ones we face where, you know, if you're not 100% fully max, you have no chance. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this real quick. Okay, so for this one, for the relay, the first guy is pretty fast. But what you do is you watch these points. So 709, 1479 is pretty upgraded, but the second guy is only 670, 1034. He's going to be slow. And because he's slow, your 2/10 deficit that you gathered in the first race really won't hurt you, because I don't think that guy is even going to run much lower than 9 seconds or 10. So you should have no problem getting through this one and beating him. So with the GT3 RS, right? Easy peasy, no issues. So again, he ran 6.5, you can do 5.4. Now my RS is missing 3 stage 6s. I took them off to go ahead and test how they play out with regard to upgrades. Again, the strongest 2, body and trans, these Porsches really, at least the ones we're using in the event, they really lean heavily towards body and transmission being the 2 top stage 6s you want. Okay. Now this car is also a bit slower than the Club Sport, so with the stage 6s missing, it dynos at like 8.0 something, and it runs, or it should run, 7.9 something, but I have to get the shift right for me to get that. Okay, so here we go. Let's try again. All right. Here we go. Just focusing on shifting as best as I can. I don't think that was any better than the last one. If anything, a little bit less. You know, well, we got 7 more races to mess around with to figure it out. I know that with this car, second gear nitrous probably will work better without as many upgrades. I tried the third gear nitrous, it seems slower, so I'm going to stick to the second gear nitrous. Okay, let's see if this one's a little better. Yep, got to 7.9s. Now, escalation. We're only at the 4th race, and it's already orange. So what they did is they made the Club Sport event less challenging and made this one more challenging. The reality is, if you flipped it and used this car first and the Club Sport second, would things have been much easier? I don't know. But this car is a little bit slower, so therefore, if they kept the challenges pretty close to the first group of challenges, that is why you're already struggling with a little bit of hard racing here. Simply because this car is slower and therefore less competitive at about the same level of upgrades. And this car is pretty well upgraded, so the fact that it's running into potential challenges already isn't a good sign. So what they did is they made the first lock-in easy, they being natural motion, and they made your second lock-in opponents run around the same time, which, because it's a slower car, naturally made things look a lot tougher. And that's kind of the direction this is going. I suspect even if I make it through to race 17 or 18, it's going to be real tough to get to race 20 without another upgrade. That means a fully maxed car would be needed, or very, very close to it, because I'm only missing some weak stage 6s. So if you don't have the right stage 6s, you don't have the fusions, well, I'm sorry to say, you're going to have to pull a lot of bronze keys or whatever you got to do to get those stage 6s and fusions as well. Otherwise, your chance of making it all the way through goes down pretty substantially. All that being said, I noticed that it's been orange for the last 3 races, but it hasn't really escalated yet to the point of losing, which is good. But I'm pretty sure that last 3 or 4 races won't be so generous. Okay, so 8.0 again. 8.0 has carried us pretty far to race 18, and boom, super extreme. Once you have that 4-bar extreme, your chances go down pretty substantially depending on what that means. If it is a speed challenge, it'll be a high speed. If it's a sprint challenge, it'll be a fast sprint. And if it's straight up challenge like this, that's the worst. It just means this car's faster. So the question is, will I be able to do something where I can beat him and not? Yes. Okay. This is where I think my dyno versus what I can run came in, because the dyno was an 8.0 something, right close to that. I think that's why I got the extreme in the first place, but I can run a little better, and by doing so, I made it through that challenge. And not only that, it just went from extreme back to easy. That means this is probably, it's a speed trap. That's what I thought. It's not going to be a straight up time challenge, because otherwise there's no reason for it to be easy. It would be hard. Okay, so, all right. 319, 321 on a 296. Pretty easy, got through that. Little lag here causing the prize to be delivered while the game is loading into the next race. You gotta love that. Or in this case, leaving. Challenging. All right, so let's just say that this event is, quote, challenging. But first car missing 2 stage 6 or possibly even a little more can still make it. And second car missing 3 stage 6 intake turbo engine, no problem so far. And that's basically what you got, right? So we're going to do the last relay. Let's see how difficult this is. And if I make it through, which I expect to, then that's all she wrote. Okay. Once again, first guy kind of whooped me. We got to look at the numbers on the second guy. Those are pretty good numbers. So, you know, I'm going to have to run probably a decent run. Although the difficulty just went down a little bit. So I guess the second car is going to run pretty poorly. That's all intentionally programmed. So this relay should be in the bag. Okay, here we go. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. And that's it. That's it. That's done. So let's look at the difference. 10.9, 10.4. So there's only about a 5/10, not even, yeah, a little over 5/10 difference. 5/10 difference could be 1 stage 6, okay? Or it could be 3 stage 6s, because the really bad ones, you can run 2 of them and they'll reduce your time by like 0.1 and change. Whereas the good one, stage 6, could be like 0.6, 0.7 of a second and change. So big difference between the two. And there it is. We got the prize Porsche, which I'm going to have to use on the next leg of the event, mainly because, I mean, assuming everything stays the same, mainly because I didn't get did I get the other car? That's the option. I don't remember, but maybe I have the other car too. But the point is, this car is a substitute for another car as a lock-in. Oh, no, I got it. It's the Zonda. So I didn't get the Zonda. Instead, I'm just going to wait for this. I hope this is a lock-in alternative, or anything other than the Zonda itself being a lock-in alternative. That was a flash car that I didn't think was very good, so I didn't bother to spend any money on. Okay, so that's it. That's my Evolution Cup runs. And how tough was it? I would say medium. You know, it's not super hard, but it's not super easy. Again, Porsche Fusions, Porsche Stage 6s, shift pattern. That's what helps you make it through the event. Alright, if you like this video, leave a like. If you like my channel and would like videos like this to be notified to you, subscribe, hit the bell, you'll get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.